113 Fulani kidnappers. They were arrested in the western part by Amateku. They were arrested. These people, they carried them with 2 trucks to, to the Yoruba land, to Oreside, Yoruba stroke Edo, right? They took them there. Guess what happened? When they get there, they will take them to the bush. You understand? After they come out and commit suicide, what they want to commit, they go into the bush. Are you guys understanding me? Now, only 3 of them didn't know what they went there for. They load them. Now, the question is, who owns the truck? The question is, who load them in there? So this business of kidnapping is going on. Just watch this video, please. I'll be right back, so I will dissect it together. Right? Thank you. But before watch it, help me by giving a thumbs up. Share this video. Let all Nigeria see it. Because I wonder how leaders, people, will deliberately be committing genocide against their own people. This is scary.
Ask them like that. Please follow them. Follow them. These are some of the things they use in collecting Okada. Once they heat, I want to place it on record that a lot of weapons were recovered from them, locally made weapons, with which they perpetrate different forms of evil. What they do is to stay in the forest and come out, attack and go back and run back deep into the forest. Over 100 of these people were loaded with trucks, 2 trucks, and they were about to be distributed along the forest belt of the state, starting from Ore End, Ofosu, Ore End. We have profiled them, and we found out that all of them, with the exception of only 3, do not even know where they were being taken to. They don't have an idea. Their masters just sent them into the forest to await further directives. The governor has therefore directed that they be sent back to where they came from. Yes, there's freedom of movement in Nigeria, but you must have a purpose.
I would really appreciate the governor for saying they should take them back. Or it's a criminal thing to come without any and enter forest to cause problem here. We appreciate the governor, we appreciate Amotekun too for taking care of them and going back where they come from.
I want to speak specifically to the crime of genocide that is going on in Nigeria today. What is genocide? Genocide is when a particular group of persons or people are persistently attacked with a view to extermination. How do you exterminate a people if not by chasing them off their land? If not by killing them indiscriminately? If not by beheading them and having them buried in mass graves? What else is genocide? What we're seeing in northern Nigeria today, from Zamfara to Katsina, to the Benue Trough, to the Plateau, in Enugu, in multiple parts, is nothing but genocide. These are genocidal killings, and it's well documented, even in plain sight, and we're all looking at it, and we are lying to ourselves that is anything other than genocide. Commodore Laumi told us that government is shielding people. He told us about the over 400 borrow the change, identified as financing terror. Not one, not a single one has been taken before a court. Nigeria is unraveling, and it is unraveling largely because of the complicity, the hypocrisy rank hypocrisy of the monafics who have claimed that they are Muslims and are doing all this evil in the name of God. The everyday Nigerian who has refused to get involved, believing that the solution will come when the El Dorado of a split might have happened. Let me remind you, even if Nigeria will split, it wouldn't split peacefully, given its current realities. It is achievable in peace if we ever find the grace to act together in concert, understanding very clearly that what we are faced with is not just state failure. We are dealing with the complicity of the state in the extermination of its own people.
All right, thank you so much for watching. Now, here's my question. You heard from the Amateku leader himself, right? Now, first thing I want us to note in this is not the police agency that arrested these people, it's Amateku. Now, that takes me back to Edo. When Edo security set up by the previous government did their own, arresting these people, right? Going against them, the slave governor imposed on Edo State, banned them, went against them. Now you can see this level of insecurity in Edo. Now let's come back to this. According to this Amatekuma, they were loaded with two truck. Who coordinated, you understand, of these people to get 113 people, load them in the truck, throw them in the forest. They will come out, stay back and everything, kidnap and go back. Who is doing this? Who is using these people for the business? Who is harming them? Who is behind this thing? And yet you are telling me they keep saying that they are foreign Fulanis. Are these ones so foreign Fulanis? No. Are they foreign Fulanis? Guys, you see now why I keep saying that we don't have leader. What we have is rulers, and these rulers are our enemy. You see, the country, is in great trouble because we are being led, we are being ruled by our enemies. We are being ruled by people that don't like, that don't have our interest. But what they have for us in their mind is evil. Isn't this obvious? Do we still need a Susa or a prophet to tell us this? Are these one foreign Fulanis? That's the question. Those who are loading them in truck, sending them to our bush's, what is their aim? To go kidnap, they go back to a bush when they are through collecting them, so they come out. For what now? And you say this is a country? This is deserting it. This is please watch this video to the end, though. Watch this video to the end so you know where we are with APC, where APC are thrown us to. The people that is the next video about to watch is APC major person, Tinubu personal assistant came out to speak. You have to watch this video to the end. Watch it, keep on sharing it, except you're an enemy of Nigeria. Thank you.
Now, let me clue you in on something. Whilst other candidates were busy trying to buy delegates, Tinubu was buying godfathers in the APC primaries. He was buying governors, the fathers of the delegates. Those were the persons Tinubu was buying. Don't imagine that Tinubu is buying sitting governors. He's not. He's buying their godfathers, the persons who kept them there. And the ones he can't buy, he's intimidating into aligning. So what you're seeing are the alignments of the politicians, whether forced or voluntary, whether based on real politics or whatever. A Tinubu that will not lose an election, quote and unquote, whilst out of office, running almost against the incumbent, is now in power. There's a difference between being in office and being in power. He is now in power. And the articles of this world are busy thinking that they can contest against him. Illusions. The people are the ones who need to be aligning. Without an alignment of the people, what you would have is that the election result will be announced ahead of time, and you can be certain that the judiciary will endorse it. Akpabio is sat in the Senate as the Senate president today because your constitution, pardon my French, is crap. Your judiciary, unfit for purpose. That is the only reason he sat there. Ditto for your president. So if you're waiting for an election to save Nigeria, you've lost already. Let me just announce that. The only thing that can save us is a revolution. If you sustain the current system, Nigeria will erupt in a civil war He's already in one. The only problem is that the lines are not defined. But if it continues on its current trajectory, Nigeria will implode.
You've just subsequently written an open letter to the president. You suggested that the president has a closed-door style of leadership, is indifferent to complaints about ethnic bias in appointments, and frequently runs the country from abroad whilst attending to personal matters. And you say that he's become something of an isolated leader heading an insular administration. I mean, that sounds pretty strong.
Well, it would have been easier if it was just about me. Am I busy? Am I lazy? Am I just going there to the villa to feel good? I have a nice title. I'm advisor to the president. If it was all about me, quite possibly I would have stayed longer. But I felt I could have been a lot more useful to the country and to the administration. I believed also, I don't like for this thing to sound boastful, I believed I had something to offer.
Indeed.
Which was the reason why they asked me to go there. Not to sit idle and to watch a lot of things going wrong. And you don't have an opportunity to fix them. You don't have an opportunity to engage the president, who has all the powers to be engaged. You don't have any channel. I saw the vice president virtually every working day. We talked, we discussed the country. But Nigeria requires a lot more than talking with the vice president.
But did you have an opportunity to meet the president?
No, I didn't.
For your entire time there?
No, I think I met him, I saw him 3 times in the mosque in the villa. And
From a
we
distance.
sort of shook hands.
Right.
Shake. There's a mosque in the villa, so
Right.
you would see. But I never had a chance to sit down with President Tinubu.
And why do
say
you
to
think
him,
that was the case?
I honestly don't know. I think I think part of the problem is that you never really had time for people like us.
People
I
like
said,
you? I mean, you were a
well,
special advisor.
Yeah, I'm not sure he had time for a lot of the people working for him. You quoted part of the letter that I wrote to him. I used the language very carefully. Said it was insular, isolated. That's not a lazy, the words you use casually. The president really is genuinely isolated. Whether it's by choice or by circumstances we don't understand, the bottom line is he ought to be available to a lot more of the people that he has trusted, either to run ministries or departments or to advise him. And he isn't. And that's a problem for the country, not so much for him. But it's a lot, because the president of Nigeria is a hugely powerful person, and he has
there's a lot of responsibility
on his shoulders.
Absolutely.
So if he's not going to look for solutions to problems from people that he had appointed, there are only 2 options that are left. Is he getting advice from the wrong people, or is he getting no advice at all? And there are other issues that I raised in my letter. I said somehow I just think when I use the word insular, it really was about, when you hear people close to him speak about Nigeria, it's as if we live in 2 different worlds. And that is the most frustrating thing for me. We would leave the villa, we would go home, we would watch real people, and sometimes we would drive around, we go home, we mix with poor people. We knew how desperate the country is, how desperately life is, difficult life is, the insecurity level, how high it is. People who are losing hope, asking what is the value of this democracy. And sometimes they say, what are you doing there? We thought with people like you, we wouldn't be seeing some of these things. At least, are you guys really advising the president about some of these things? And it all amounts to this idea that the president is either not interested in getting advice, or is getting advice from the people that he hasn't appointed officially to give him advice. Either way, when I use those words, insular and isolated, very carefully, because that's exactly how I read it. I believe if President Tinubu was more open to suggestions and advice, and if he has higher quality of people handling sensitive positions for him, And he makes himself available to them, and they talk to him, and he tells them, they tell him what they think. I think the country will be better.
So are you going to join the new coalition that's being talked about?
At this stage, no. And I hope even in the future, I doubt it. I have very serious misgivings about all this talk about coalitions and all this jumping from one place to another one. I think these are signs of just how degenerated the political process has become. And it's a very sad thing for Nigeria today, as we speak, a country that has never faced more problems than we have, that its leadership entirely, the whole spectrum of leadership, is all running around looking for places to continue to run the country aground.
Well, I think your term, to many people, described it well. I mean, it's a very insular, inward-looking group that just sort of talk to themselves.
The politicians.
I mean, that's the impression, yeah, people have.
The entire politicians, all of them.
I mean, it's extraordinary, really.
Without any difference. Everyone, those in government, those trying to get into the government, those jumping guns and ship, and those looking for coalitions, the whole lot. I mean, just, you can count the number of politicians who are literally holding the country to ransom. In political science, we call it state capture. There are not more than 2,000 Nigerians who are running this country politically. And it's all about them.
It's extraordinary,
It's
really,
all
isn't
about
it?
them.
And hearing it from someone like yourself, who not only achieved tremendous prominence, I mean, in your own career, I mean, permanent secretary and all the rest of it, I mean, you know, spokesman of one very powerful, you know, forum, the Northern Elders Forum, special advisor to the presidency. I mean, it's quite worrying.
It is worrying more for the country, because the way we are headed, it's going to be either we have a choice between the bad and the worse. There's absolutely no difference. They have no shame. I'm sorry to use this word. Our politicians have